And we begin with some breaking news from the Leaders' Debates Commission. People's Party of Canada leader Maxime Bernier has not been invited to either the French or English language debates scheduled for next month.
Individual freedom, personal responsibility, respect, and fairness. So I'm on the economy. You can call me a libertarian, but I'm not a real libertarian, because a real libertarian will ask for open borders or no more regulations or legislation on drugs, and so I don't believe in that. I think we must have a state that will have some regulation, basic regulations.
So
I want to work for all Canadians and not for a special interest group. And when, a special interest group is coming to us and they just want to promote their privilege or to keep their privilege, that would be easy for me to say, no, I won't do that. Something is happening. I think the big government in Ottawa, every time putting a lot of regulations and a lot of subsidies to businesses. The government bailed out the GM a couple of years ago, more than $2.5 billion, and GM said 2 months ago that they will leave Canada.
Yeah.
So it's a waste of money. We're giving a lot of money to big businesses, and all the other politicians are saying, yeah, it's okay, we must help business. What I'm saying, yes, we must help businesses, but every businesses having a fair policy, that is to lower taxes to every businesses and not giving subsidies and picking winner and loser. We have the CBC, and the federal government is giving about $1.3 billion a year to the state broadcaster, the CBC, and in French it's Radio-Canada. And I'm the only politician, and it's a very popular policy that we must cut that because it is unfair. The CBC are competing with other private broadcasters for the advertising, and also they receive money from the government. So it is not fair. We must cut the CBC, and what I want the CBC to be a little bit like a PBS in the state. Mm-hmm. If they're so good, they will be able to have money from their viewers. But also the CBC, their editorial board are a little bit, I will be very very kind, a little bit leftist. So
you're being very kind.
Yeah. It's worse in French, though. The Radio-Canada in French are more leftist than CBC sometimes. The way to fix that is, first of all, CBC must receive money from their viewers first, and second, the government must, if the government is giving money to CBC, we must know what's happening, and maybe the executive of the CBC must be before the Parliament once a year to explain their editorial policy. But that government is all obsessed by sex and gender.
Yeah, it's endless with him.
Oh yeah, the last budget, that was a gender budget. I think.
What does that even mean?
But what that mean? They didn't have a lot of economic data in the budget.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be a budget, supposed to have economic data. They didn't have a lot of economic data, but I think the word gender was in the budget 300 times.
Wow.
So, and I will give you an example. If you want to build a pipeline in Canada, mm-hmm. with the new bill C-69, you need to do intersectorial sex and gender analysis. Don't ask me what that means. Intersectional sex and gender analysis. That's in the legislation. So the sex and gender...
To build a pipeline.
To build a pipeline.
Yeah, a lot of people were talking about this when we were in Alberta.
Yeah. The sex and gender expert will look at the impact of building a pipeline in a rural community with men and women and the sex, and so it's crazy. It's a nonsense, it's crazy. You know, I have faith in people. I have faith that they have the ability, the dignity, and the right to make their own decision and determine their own destiny. That's important for us. That's important for me. And yes, you can make a mistake, but you'll be responsible of your success and your mistake. That's a debate that we're having right now in Canada because, as you know, we have people who are crossing the border from the state of New York to Quebec, and they are asking to. They said that they're refugees, and actually they're not real refugees. You know, your life is not in danger in the state of New York. But that being said,
they think it is.
They think
it's perceived.
Yeah, perceived. Yeah, but the last 2 years, I think more than 40,000 people crossed the border illegally. So the Trudeau government doesn't want to fix that. And that's a big issue in Canada. So what I'm asking as a politician, we have an immigration system, and that is, it was going very well, a point system. So it's a privilege to be Canadians. And we want people who come here to share our Canadian values, our basic Western civilization values, and it's a privilege. So we have three kinds of immigrants in Canada: the reunification of family, the refugees, and the economic immigrant, the person that will come because they have a job, because the business was not able to find a Canadians for that job. So they are coming, they have a job, and usually it's easier to integrate a society if you have a job. But we don't need to build a wall between Canada and US. We just need to be sure to respect our immigration system. Our party is, we're not anti-immigration and we're not open borders and for mass immigration. So what we want is a little bit less immigrant, 250,000 a year like we had under Stephen Harper, not 350,000 a year. Trudeau government, they increased that by 40%. So what I'm saying when people say, oh, you know, open border is good, it's not everybody that can be part of a nation. If you don't support our values, if you are, I don't know, pro Sharia law, that's against our values. That's against freedom between men and women, equality between men and women, the respect of the rule of law. If you want to impose a new rule of law, Sharia law, the integration won't be very well in our society. So these people must share our values, our Western civilization values. So that's why if you have an open border and you want everybody from everywhere to come to Canada, that will create tension and dislike in the population. And that's happening actually in Europe right now. You don't want the government to tell you what to do. You don't want the government to tell you what to say. You know, it's the basics of our democracy. So, you know, for Trudeau, diversity is our strength. And for me, it's unity who is our strength as a country. I don't buy that, but actually it is the only argument that my opponent, the Conservative Party of Canada, has.
So that's their whole thing is, this guy, you vote for this guy, you're going to fracture us.
They have a weak leader. There's no conviction there. You know, the Conservative are doing a lot of polling and focus group and survey, but they're not doing politics by conviction. And I'm doing politics by conviction, and we must speak about what we believe openly with passion and conviction, and that's what I'm doing. In a democracy, the vote, it's always split. If you don't want anyone to split the vote, it would be a dictature. You don't have... So...
Hello everybody, I'm here in New Brunswick right now campaigning. As you know, Justin Trudeau just announced yesterday that he will give $1 billion to provinces for them to implement a vaccine passport. We are against that. We are against the vaccine passport. We are for freedom of choice. Everybody must be able to decide if they want the vaccine or not. That's a free society. Now Justin Trudeau is dividing us in two kinds of citizens. vaccinated ones and unvaccinated ones. We don't want that. That's segregation. That's unfair. That's unconstitutional. We don't need that. We need to live in a society where everybody will be free to do what they want to do. Now everybody will have to show their papers. We don't want a show me your papers society. That's a communist society. This election will be very important. That will be a choice. You will have a choice between all the other establishment political parties that want to impose a vaccine passport and us, the PPC. What do you want? Do you want more government control, more vaccine passport, more lockdowns, more mask mandate, or more freedom? I'm choosing freedom. What do you choose?
Afternoon, sir.
Yes,
Football
yes.
Park with the RCMP.
Yeah.
I can get you step out of the vehicle. I'm going to place you under arrest right now.
Yeah.
Right now, you're under arrest under the provincial health orders. Okay, so if you can just put your hands behind your back, face towards the vehicle. Okay, give me one hand here.
I'll just use the vehicle, okay?
Yep.
The other hand. Do you have any weapons or anything on you, sir?
Weapon? No, no weapon. Only,
Anything on you that's
only
going to
my
hurt me
words.
or anything like that?
Sorry?
Anything on you that's going to hurt me or anything like that?
No, no, anything will hurt you. Only my words, only my philosophy, only what I believe in.
Okay. All right, come on over this way.